Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. The news arrived quietly, wrapped in a white envelope that felt far heavier than paper ever should. Mark Consuelos stood alone in the kitchen, the early morning light spilling across the counter as if everything in the world were still normal. The coffee maker hummed, the house breathed, life, unaware, moved on. But Mark didn't. His hands trembled as he unfolded the letter. Words blurred together, then sharpened into meaning so cruel it stole the air from his lungs. He read it once, then again, a third time, hoping the letters might rearrange themselves into something kinder. They didn't. He sank into a chair, elbows on the table, face buried in his palms. For years he had been the strong one, the protector, the steady anchor. But now his shoulders shook, silent tears slipping through his fingers. He wasn't crying for pain or fear alone. He was crying for Kelly. Kelly Ripa had always been sunshine disguised as a person. Laughter followed her wherever she went, bright and fearless. Mark had fallen in love with that light decades ago, and the thought of it dimming because of him hurt more than any diagnosis ever could. When Kelly walked in, she knew instantly something was wrong. She could read Mark the way some people read books, every pause, every breath, every unspoken word. "Mark?" she asked softly. He looked up, eyes red, voice breaking before he even spoke. "Kel, I didn't want you to find out like this." She crossed the room in seconds, kneeling in front of him. "Find out what?" He handed her the letter. She read it once, then her hand flew to her mouth. "No, no, no, no!" Tears spilled freely now, her shoulders trembling as she clutched the paper, like it might vanish if she held it tight enough. Mark reached for her, pulling her into his arms, but for the first time in years he felt unsure, like he was the one being held together instead. "I'm scared," he admitted, voice barely audible. "I've faced a lot in my life, but this feels different." Kelly pressed her forehead against his. "You don't get to face it alone," she said firmly, tears streaming down her face. "You never have." Days passed, heavy and slow. Cameras waited outside. Headlines whispered rumors. But inside their home, time seemed frozen. They spoke in softer voices. They held hands longer. Every glance carried a silent question. How much time do we have? One night, long after the house had gone quiet, Kelly found Mark sitting in the dark, staring out the window. "You're doing that thing again," she said gently. "What thing?" "Pretending you're okay so I won't fall apart." He sighed. "I just don't want to be the reason you hurt." She sat beside him, tears welling once more. "Mark, loving you means sharing everything, the joy and the fear. Don't take that away from me." That was the night he finally let himself break down completely. Not as a public figure, not as a husband trying to be brave, just as a human being afraid of losing time, moments, laughter, mornings together. Kelly held him as he cried, her own tears soaking into his shirt. "Whatever comes, we meet it together." In the weeks that followed, they chose honesty over hiding, vulnerability over silence. They laughed when they could, cried when they needed to, and somehow, even in the shadow of devastating news, love grew louder than fear. The diagnosis didn't define them. What defined them was the way Mark reached for Kelly's hand every morning, the way Kelly kissed his forehead like it was a promise, the way two hearts, cracked but unbroken, refused to choose each other. And in that fragile, painful season, they discovered something profound. Even when tears fall, love can still shine.